As the years go by, climate change is becoming more and more urgent and apparent. So, for my robotics project, I decided to innovate on existing ideas to try and solve one of the biggest contributors to this problem: deforestation. Every year, around 7 billion trees are cut down or burned to the ground, mainly in tropical countries such as Brazil, Indonesia, and Congo. Deforestation is also responsible for 20% of greenhouse gas emissions every year. Carbon emissions from deforestation are also up to a record high due to the recent wildfires in California and Australia, which released a combined 1,820 metric tons of carbon into the atmosphere and cleared around 8.8 million hectares of forest land. Due to factors from climate change, 40% of the time, small shrubs grow back in deforested areas instead of trees, which is bad for the environment since trees are the ones who suck up all the carbon out of the air. My robot was designed with these issues in mind, as I wanted my robot to be capable on bumpy and rough terrain, as wildfire-ridden forests are often too dangerous for humans to plant trees in. When we began this project, I started by making a very quick prototype. However, this prototype had many design flaws such as the axles coming loose, the servo falling off, and it didn't drive straight. I decided that it would be much easier to just design a whole new prototype to solve these issues. Here is that final prototype. This is my completed prototype. As you can see, it is highly inspired from the shape of a dune buggy, as they are fast, light, and ideal for hilly terrain. Some features of my new prototype are the seat trailer, rubber wheels, front drive motor, and towing system. I wanted my prototype to have front wheel drive, as this would make it much more capable in bad weather and hilly terrain, which are common in places where deforestation is taking place. I also added a trailer to carry and dispense my seeds, as it allowed me to work on every component separately, and trailers are generally better for rugged terrain. For example, say there was a problem with the motor, or you just didn't want the seed planter attached because you only wanted to get from place to place. It's very easy to switch out components to do these things. Another advantage to the design of my prototype is that additional improvements can be made very easily. For example, I very quickly made another trailer to carry my power bank to see if it might be a better design than having it on my main vehicle. However, you can do almost anything to improve this design, such as adding a tiller vehicle to grind up the soil for the seeds, or a trailer that can dispense fertilizer and water for the seeds. You can pretty much add anything to this prototype with ease. Along the way of building this prototype, I had lots of failures. Multiple instances of the motor and servo not working properly, lots of issues with the axles and getting the wheels to be grippy enough. A big issue that I had to fix were the wires attached to the motor came off, but I was eventually able to fix that. I also had to replace pretty much my entire code because it was not working. Eventually, I was able to learn from these mistakes and persevere, which allowed me to fix almost all of these issues and create the final prototype, which works exactly how I wanted it to. Of course, there are lots of improvements that can be done in the future, such as adding better materials, more advanced components and code, additional testing, and so much more. These are all things that would bring this idea closer to being able to solve the large problem that is deforestation. Thank you all for listening.
Oh, it works. Let's go. That's awesome.
I'm the best.